You're telling me wherever I go, Tato Nrsinga, there is Nrsinga. Bahir Nrsingo Hridaye Nrsingo Bahir Nrsingo is Nrsinga. Nrsingamadhim Sharanam Prapate. Nrsingamadhim Sharanam Prapate. I surrender to the original shelter, the first shelter, Nrsinga. Actually, Prabhupada sang a little different melody, like this is Prabhupada.
Adibolito, ¿cómo están todos? Buen día, Varela, y te veo. Buen día. I see you now. How are you? Bailey, you made it today. Very nice. Nice to see you. Okay, I'm going to, so I don't know, Varela also. You cannot log in, Varela, I don't know. You having problems to log in from the computer? You got it now?
Is Rade 108 the password?
With exclamation point, yes.
Oh, okay, that's what I needed. I needed the password. I should be able to get in now.
Okay.
Okay.
And we are here to, this is what we left off. We have the official reader here, Suniti. If you want to take turns with Baresha, she also reads very nice, but otherwise you can read.
Sure, but if Arisha is able to connect, let's see. Because I'm on my phone now too.
Okay, you're on your phone. Okay, then I can read.
Actually on my laptop now, so if you want me to read, I can read.
Very nice.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We finished and we started in this Brahman. Yes, correct?
Okay. Brahman ultimately refers to the personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman realization is just the negative conception of the mundane creations. Paramatma is the localized aspect of Brahman within all kinds of material bodies. Ultimately, the Supreme Brahman realization is the realization of the personality of Godhead according to all evidence of the revealed scriptures. He is the ultimate source of Vishnu Tattvas. The Puranas are also supplementary to the Vedas. The Vedic mantras are too difficult for an ordinary man. Women, Shudras, and the so-called twice-born higher castes are unable to penetrate into the sense of the Vedas, and thus the Mahabharata and the Puranas are made easy to explain the truths of the Vedas. In his prayers before the boy Sri Krishna, Brahma said that there is no limit to the fortune of the residents of Rajabhumi, headed by Sri Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, because the eternal absolute truth has become their intimate relative. The Vedic mantra maintains that the absolute truth has no legs and no hands, and yet goes faster than all and accepts everything that is offered to him in devotion. The latter statements definitely suggest the personal features of the Lord, although his hands and legs are distinguished from mundane hands and legs or other senses. Brahman, therefore, is never impersonal, but when such mantras are indirectly interpreted, it is wrongly thought that the absolute truth is impersonal. The absolute truth, personality of Godhead, is full of all opulences, and therefore he has a transcendental form of full existence, knowledge, and bliss. How then can one establish that the absolute truth is impersonal? Brahman, being full of opulences, is understood to have manifold energies, and all these energies are classified under three headings under the authority of Vishnu Purana, which says that the transcendental energies of Lord Vishnu are primarily three. His spiritual energy and the energy of the living entities are classified as superior energy, whereas the material energy is an inferior one, which is sprouted out of ignorance. The energy of the living entities is technically called Kshetragyan energy. This Kshetragya Shakti, although equal in quality with the Lord, becomes overpowered by material energy out of ignorance and thus suffers all sorts of material miseries. In other words, the living entities are located in the marginal energy between the superior spiritual and inferior material energies, and in proportion to the living being's contact with either material or spiritual energies, the living entity is situated in proportionately higher and lower levels of existence. The Lord is beyond the inferior and marginal energies as above mentioned, and his spiritual energy is manifested in three different phases, as eternal existence, eternal bliss, and eternal knowledge. As far as eternal existence is concerned, it is concluded by the Sandini potency, or conducted by the Sandini potency. Similarly, bliss and knowledge are conducted by the Ladini and Samvit potencies, respectively. As the supreme energetic Lord, he is the supreme controller of the spiritual, marginal, and material energies. All these different types of energies are connected with the Lord in eternal devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is thus enjoying in his transcendental eternal form. It is not astounding that one dares to call the Supreme Lord non-energetic. The Lord is the controller of all energies, and the living entities are parts and parcels of one of the energies. Therefore, there is a gulf of difference between the Lord and the living entities. How then can one say that the Lord and the living entities are one and the same? In the Bhagavad Gita, also the living entities are described as belonging to the superior energy of the Lord, according to the principles of intimate correlation between the energy and the energetic. Both of them are non-different also. Therefore, the Lord and the living entities are non-different as the energy and the energetic. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego are all inferior energies of the Lord, but the living entities are different from all as superior energy. This is the version of Bhagavad Gita 7, 4, and 5. The transcendental form of the Lord is eternally existent and full of transcendental bliss. How then can such a form be a product of the material mode of goodness? Anyone, therefore, who does not believe in the form of the Lord is certainly a faithless demon, and as such is untouchable, not a not to be seen persona non grata, fit to be punished by the Plutonic king. The Buddhists are called atheists because they have no respect for the Vedas, but those who defy the Vedic conclusions, as above mentioned, under the pretense of being followers of the Vedas, are verily more dangerous than the Buddhists. Sri Vyasadeva very kindly compiled the Vedic knowledge in his Vedanta Sutra, but if one hears the commentation of the Mayavad school as represented by Shankar Sampradaya, certainly he will be misled on the path of spiritual realization. The theory of emanations is the beginning subject of the Vedanta Sutra. All the cosmetic all the cosmic manifestations are emanations from the absolute personality of Godhead by his inconceivable different energies. The example of the touchstone is applicable to the theory of emanation. The touchstone can convert an unlimited quantity of iron into gold, and still the touchstone remains as it is. Similarly, the Supreme Lord can produce all manifested worlds by his inconceivable energies, and yet he is fully unchanged. He is Purana, complete, and although an unlimited number of Puranas emanate from him, he is still Purna, complete, Purnas. The theory of illusion of the Mayavad school is advocated on the ground that the theory of emanation will cause a transformation of the absolute truth. If that is the case, Vyasadeva is wrong. To avoid this, they have skillfully brought in the theory of illusion. But the world or the cosmic creation is not false as maintained by the Mayavad school. It simply has no permanent existence. A non-permanent thing cannot be called false altogether. But the conception that the material body is the self is certainly wrong. Pranava, Om, or the Omkar in the Vedas, is the primeval hymn. The transcendental sound is identical with the form of the Lord. All the Vedic hymns are based on this Pranava Omkar. Tattvam Asi is but a side word in the Vedic literatures, and therefore this word cannot be the primeval hymn of the Vedas. Shripad Sankaracharya has given more stress on the side word Tattvam Asi than on the primeval principle Omkar. The Lord thus spoke on the Vedanta Sutra and defined all the propaganda of the Mayavadi school. The Bhattacharya tried to defend himself and his Mayavad school by jugglery of logic and grammar, but the Lord defeated him by his forceful arguments. He affirmed that we are all related with the personality of Godhead eternally, and that devotional service is our eternal function in exchanging the dealings of our relations. The result of such exchanges is to attain prema, or love of Godhead. When love of Godhead is attained, love for all other beings automatically flows because the Lord is the sum total of all living beings.
I want to say a little bit here that I'm listening and translating the teachings from Radhika Raman Prabhu, and then the next section we are translating, he's talking about this logic, because he's giving a lot of logical arguments and we read them, but I don't know if we really comprehend the dimensions of his logic to understand the arguments to be valid. We just listen and we say, okay, Lord Chaitanya defeated him. Basically, we get that as a, Lord Chaitanya talked and defeated him. Thank you, but the logical arguments, I don't think we get it so clearly, because logic needs to be understood. And even when I listen to Radhika Raman explaining the logic, he explains such a way that I know mathematics, and mathematics use a lot of logic, and we train in logic before do mathematics. So I could understand his argument, but I don't know if everybody will follow those arguments if you don't have the background, So I was doing some ways to teach the devotees a little bit of logic, so that when the arguments of logic are appearing, they will be able to follow that. And, their, logic that goes directly, down, or there is contra arguments, and there is many ways to produce stuff like that. Maybe you also know, I don't know, maybe all of you know, but that's the point. I stop. I say, okay, I never read the Bhagavatam understanding the logic, arguments, especially Lord Chaitanya's logical argument, and Radhika Raman brought it to light, that's what, this philosophy is not just a belief, because there is logical argumentations for everything that's presented. It's not like, you just need to believe, chant Hare Krishna, and you will be happy. You can do that too. It's not like that's not a possibility, but the logical arguments is what makes the strength for those more, those who are naturally devoted back, that they don't need too much logical argument, but those who are more mental, let's say, they may need more logical arguments. And And those are the key for which our philosophy stands out above the other ones, and which is, so anyway, I just want to mention that for me, I'm a new awareness of the presentation of the Bhagavatam or Lord Chaitanya's arguments as the importance of that logic to defeat and understand the depth of our philosophy, personalism and monism, both of those, and so
that's a really good thought. I completely forgot. I don't know if you, I'm also a math student. My degree is in mathematics.
and also.
Yes. And I remember, we had to take logic class, and I remember it was like a big seminar, like 200 students, and the professor asked, okay, who understands this? Like, who gets this? And like, I'm like, this is my jam. This is my favorite thing. I was like, yes, like super enthusiastic, like, yes. And there were like 2 other kids out of the room of 200 people who raised their hand, and he asked, are you math majors? And we were all like, yes, like the only ones who got it, or the math majors, like this is what we do. This is how you do math, and so it makes sense to us. But yeah, you bring up a great point that I didn't even think about. Like, that's maybe not so easy for non-math people or people who haven't been trained in philosophy and logic in this way to really grasp those, like the flow of that. I know a couple times I've gone off on things like that with my kids, like
Nice.
Trying to explain the like logical structure of it, and they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We can do together a little workshop for a little bit of the understanding logical arguments.
Right.
For those
Exactly.
who
It's
like,
a mouthful. Like, I can't see the average person on the street reading this and getting anything from it, because I think it's just it's like for really, really smart people.
no, this is not the right word, because smart is not a default thing. It's like you study and then you learn and then you can understand. Even I know logic, it's not that I follow the logic. I'm just saying that, before I always only look at the fact that Lord Chaitanya defeated
But you get to the bottom line, the point. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the bottom line.
The bottom line is that, but then we miss the richness of the argument that he's presenting, that we can present to people who may not understand why God is a person, or why, like that. So, I think we miss it by doing that bottom line. Of course, we are devotee, we don't need more. What we need more for, but sometimes, in the mood of preaching, the Lord Chaitanya taught us have better arguments that we can, not for argument in the sense you want to defeat you or whatever, for the sake that people want to know. The people who doesn't want to know, it doesn't matter how many logical arguments you will give, they're not going to listen or understand or want to understand. But those who
they don't care, and they'll just be like, oh God, love of God, Krishna is amazing, let's listen to the pastimes, and it's all about devotion.
That's okay.
Yeah, like some people they're not in the whole.
Yes, there is, but there is, okay, there are the people who reject completely, the people who accept easily, but it was in the middle, who don't reject completely, don't accept completely. They may want to understand in order to,
Right.
render. We're talking more about those group of people, the middle type of people, not the ones who reject it, because it doesn't matter what you do, they're going to reject it. It doesn't matter the ones who accept it, doesn't matter what you do, they're going to accept it, because they have Krishna manifest in their heart already,
And you hit the nail on the head when you said it's the preachers that need to know this, because people who aren't really preaching or not so concerned with relating this in a way where it's understandable for people, you have to understand what this just said and be able to translate it for the average person. I can barely understand what I just read.
No, don't take me wrong. I don't want to make you feel like I really understand everything here. No, I just
I think you do. You're very smart.
I just mentioned that the aspect that for me was Radhika Raman who opened the light to that aspect of it. And now I'm reading it here, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's the part he was mentioning. And now for the first time I encounter that, and I don't follow completely, because I think even I don't logic, I need to it's not something you just read. You need to really think through, take notes, at least the way my brain works, By the way, Acharya said all of us are preachers. It doesn't, there's no one person who is a preacher and another one who is not a preacher, because by being a devotee, naturally you're a preacher. I mean, people know
That's
that.
true. I agree with that.
All right, so we already spent the time talking, debating about this, and the time is past, so we need to change rounds, also one round. But thank you for engaging in the conversation. I don't know if anybody else has a point or anything you want to say about it. No? All right, so we are going to stop the reading there and that philosophical talk. And we are going to offer our respectful obeisances to all Vaishnava, devotees of the Lord. They are like desired trees, able to fulfill everyone's desire, and they are full of compassion for all the conditioned souls. Jai. Vanchakalpatarubhascha, kripasindhubhyevacha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. This part you can all say together. Those who know the verse, you can open the microphones and say it together. All right. So now we have 10 minutes. I don't know, it's 7 o'clock. If you have to go to work or whatever, that's fine. If you want to chant, you can stay. If you don't want to chant, you don't have to stay. No problem. I'm going to do my routine. And Hari Hari, thank you so much for reading, Barish. That was wonderful.
Sure.
Yeah, that verse you read remind me how much I don't know. And the awareness, that's all what I have. Awareness from Radhika Raman, who knows everything. All right. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Hare. Ribolito, we made it.